The stars above Lyris 7 twinkled softly. But the darkness of space carried a quiet tension. For centuries, the colony had lived in relative peace on the rocky, mineral-rich planet. Its people mined precious metals and traded with nearby systems. Life was routine, predictable, safe, or at least it had been. That night, an anomaly appeared in the black sky beyond the planet's orbit, something that had not been seen for generations. Commander Ilara Voss stood on the observation deck of the orbital station, her eyes fixed on the faint outline that shimmered through the nebula. At first, she thought it was a satellite or a drifting asteroid, but something about it was wrong. It moved in a way no natural object could. The shape became clearer as the station's sensors adjusted. It was a vessel, but not an ordinary one. Its hull was jagged and aged, weathered by time, as though it had drifted for centuries without maintenance. The design was almost ancient, echoing the pirate ships of old Earth tales. Dark metal stretched across its frame, dented and scratched, with strange glowing lines running along the edges. And most curious of all, it carried several locked chests on its deck, each one rattling as if alive. Ilara's heart quickened. A pirate vessel in this part of space? That was impossible. The last records of pirate activity were from hundreds of years ago. Long before humanity spread across the stars, no one had seen one of these ships survive this long, let alone move through hyperspace unassisted. "Commander," a voice broke her focus. Lieutenant Mara Kane, her second in command, approached, her expression a mix of awe and concern. "Sensors can't identify the material. It's not any alloy known to human manufacturing. And the energy signatures? They're fluctuating. Almost alive." Ilara nodded, her mind racing. "Alive or not, it's here. And it has chests. That rattling isn't normal. Prepare the boarding team. I want to know what's inside." The announcement caused a stir across the station. Scientists hurried to gather equipment, while security teams armed themselves with plasma rifles and magnetic grapples. News from the observation deck spread like fire. Humans had found an ancient vessel drifting back into space, and no one knew its purpose. Ilara led her team in a sleek shuttle that glided silently toward the strange ship. The closer they got, the more the chests rattled. The sound was muffled but persistent, like the shuffle of restless creatures trapped inside. The ship seemed aware of their presence, adjusting its position as if watching them approach. Once aboard, the team immediately noticed the ship's interior was in remarkable condition for something so old. The corridors were narrow and dimly lit, yet no rust or decay threatened its structure. Panels flickered with faint energy, displaying unreadable symbols that pulsed with a soft, blue light. "Look at this," said Dr. Aaron Soul, the team's xenotechnologist, crouching to examine one of the chests. Its surface was smooth, but strangely warm, almost as if it were breathing. "These locks aren't mechanical. They respond to touch, and they seem aware of us." Ilara frowned. "Aware? Explain." "They react when we get close. Sensors can't penetrate them, but they pulse faster when a hand hovers near. I think they're selecting." The team exchanged uneasy glances. Selecting for what? A test? A warning? Ilara took a deep breath and reached toward the nearest chest. The rattling stopped. The chest's glow intensified for a moment, then dimmed. A soft click echoed through the chamber. Nothing else happened. She looked at her crew. "It's testing us," she said. "Whatever is inside, it wants to know who we are first." As they moved deeper into the ship, the corridors twisted in unusual ways. Gravity fields shifted slightly, making each step feel uncertain. The chests were everywhere, lined along the walls, stacked in corners, rattling in a rhythm that was almost hypnotic. Every time someone approached, the sound seemed to adjust, growing louder or softer depending on their movements. Lieutenant Mara whispered, "Commander, it's like the ship itself is alive. Like it knows we're here." Ilara didn't answer. Her focus was on the ship's core. Sensors showed a faint energy source at the heart of the vessel, pulsating in sync with the rattling. Whatever was inside those chests, It was connected to this energy, and likely, to the ship itself. They entered a large chamber filled with the largest chests yet. The rattling was louder here, almost deafening. The sound made some of the crew tense, their instincts warning them of danger. But Alara remained calm, her mind sharp. "Everyone, form a circle around the chests," she instructed. "Keep your wits about you. This may be a test, or it may be a trap. Either way, we move together." The team obeyed. Ilara extended her hand toward the nearest chest. A soft hum vibrated through her palm. The chest slowly opened, revealing hundreds of small, intricate devices, moving as if they had a life of their own. Dr. Sol's eyes widened. "These aren't just devices, they're biomechanical drones," he said. They seem to respond to human presence and intelligence. They may even be sentient." The drones didn't attack. Instead, they formed patterns in the air, hovering above the chests, glowing faintly. It was as if they were watching, studying, evaluating the humans. Ilara nodded to her team. "This is why the chests rattled. The ship is alive in a sense, and these drones are its guardians. It wants to see if we're worthy." Hours passed as the team carefully interacted with the chests and the drones. Some chests unlocked partially, revealing holographic star maps and data logs from long-lost civilizations. Others remained sealed, their locks pulsing in response to gestures and touch. At one point, the ship shifted slightly, and the entire room shivered. A deep vibration ran through the floor, causing the drones to rise and form a protective barrier around the team. Ilara realized the ship itself was responding to them, ensuring their safety as long as they respected it. "The ship wants to communicate," she said softly. "We need to pay attention. Every movement, every sound. It's a language we must understand." Dr. Saul adjusted his portable translator and pointed at a holographic display. Symbols formed in the air, arranging into patterns resembling ancient Earth writing, but mixed with alien geometries. "Commander, these are warnings, but also invitations. Whoever built this vessel left instructions for those who can understand. They wanted to pass on knowledge to intelligent species." Ilara's eyes glimmered. Knowledge from a civilization older than humanity? The possibilities were staggering. Then, "We listen carefully. This may be our chance to learn what no one else in the galaxy has known." Night fell on Lyris 7. Though aboard the vessel, there was no real night. The glowing chests cast soft, moving shadows across the walls. The rattling never truly stopped. It became a rhythm, a heartbeat, guiding the humans deeper into the mysteries of the ship. As the team explored, they found small logs, left like diaries by previous explorers or perhaps the original builders. Some contained coordinates to uncharted star systems. Others held warnings of dangers, both natural and artificial, meant to protect the knowledge within. Yet the greatest discovery came unexpectedly. One chest, larger than the others, sat at the center of the room. Its glow was faint, but steady. Unlike the others, which pulsed sporadically, the rattling inside seemed slower, deliberate, almost intelligent. Ilara approached it last, allowing her team to observe first. The moment she placed her hand on the chest, the room went silent. Even the drones paused midair, hovering as if holding their breath. The chest clicked and opened slightly, revealing a holographic image of a star system no one had ever seen. Its planets glowed softly, rings of energy circling them. Ilara realized this was no ordinary map, it was an invitation, a guide to a place where the knowledge of an ancient civilization waited. "This is it," she whispered. "Whatever is inside this ship, it wants us to continue a journey that began long before humanity existed. And we're the ones it chose." For the first time, fear mixed with awe. The rattling, once ominous, now felt like a heartbeat of encouragement, urging them forward. Humanity had survived countless challenges. And now, faced with mysteries far beyond their comprehension, they were being recognized as worthy. Alara looked at her crew. We rest tonight. Tomorrow, we follow the map. Whatever is waiting, we will face it together. The vessel hummed softly around them, a gentle pulse in the darkness. Outside, the stars of the nebula swirled, indifferent to the small humans aboard a ship that had traveled centuries to meet them. And yet, inside the vessel, there was a sense of anticipation, as if the universe itself held its breath. Alara knew the journey ahead would be dangerous, filled with unknown perils and tests of courage. But she also knew humanity had a way of rising to challenges. They had conquered planets, survived in space, and discovered new frontiers. The old pirate vessel, with its rattling chests and intelligent guardians, was another test, and they were ready. As the crew settled for the night, the ship slowly adjusted its course. It seemed to respond to the humans, aligning itself with the path indicated by the central chest. The stars streaked past the observation windows, as if marking the beginning of a new chapter in human history. Somewhere deep in the vessel, the smallest chest rattled one last time that night. A tiny signal of life, waiting for the humans to prove themselves worthy of the secrets hidden within. And so, under the watchful glow of ancient technology and the cold gaze of distant stars, humanity's adventure with the old pirate vessel began a journey that promised discovery, wonder, and a test of courage unlike anything they had faced before. The next morning, the crew awoke to a faint hum resonating through the vessel. It was softer than the rattling they had heard before, but somehow more insistent, as if the ship itself wanted them to move forward. Alara gathered her team in the central chamber where the largest chest waited, its glow steady and inviting. The other chests lined the walls, smaller and varied, each one pulsing faintly in response to their presence. Dr. Aaron's soul adjusted his portable scanner and crouched before the largest chest. The drones, they're intelligent, he said quietly. They respond to our gestures and our thought patterns. I think the ship uses them to determine who is worthy of unlocking each chest. It's a test of intellect, courage, and perhaps even morality. Lieutenant Maricane raised an eyebrow. So, it's like the vessel is alive, but instead of attacking us, it's judging us? Alara nodded. Exactly. And we need to pass its test. This isn't just about treasure or technology. The ship may hold knowledge humanity has never seen before. We proceed carefully. The team moved closer. Alara extended her hand toward one of the smaller chests. The humming intensified. She hesitated for only a moment before placing her palm on the smooth surface. The chest vibrated gently, and then a soft light emanated from within, revealing a holographic panel filled with star maps, diagrams, and unfamiliar symbols. Dr. Saul leaned in, awe written on his face. These are coordinates to a star system no one has ever charted. And these symbols, they seem to encode knowledge about energy sources, propulsion systems, even sustainable habitats in extreme environments. This civilization was far ahead of humanity. The crew exchanged glances. The possibilities were staggering. If this knowledge could be safely studied and understood, it might accelerate humanity's space exploration by centuries. Careful, Alara warned. We do not know the full extent of the ship's security. Move slowly, observe, and follow instructions if it gives them. This isn't a simple treasure hunt. As they continued to interact with the chests, the biomechanical drones became more active. They hovered around the team, forming shapes in the air that seemed almost communicative. Some of the drones projected holographic symbols that matched the star maps. Others reacted to sound, moving faster when the humans spoke in excited tones and slowing down when they remained calm. Dr. Soul studied them closely. They're learning from us. The ship wants to see how we respond under pressure, how we analyze and solve problems. It's a living test. Alara watched her crew. Lieutenant Kane and the security team moved with caution, ensuring that no sudden actions triggered defensive responses. Scientists and engineers studied the projections, trying to decipher the alien knowledge. And Alara herself considered the broader implications. Humanity was being tested not only for intelligence, but for character. How would they behave with power and knowledge in their hands? Hours passed, and the team grew more confident. They learned the patterns of the drones and how the chests responded. Some opened fully, revealing additional holograms. Schematics for starships that could travel farther and faster than any human vessel. Designs for energy sources that could power entire colonies, and instructions for cultivating life on hostile planets. But the ship was not finished with its tests. One chest, larger than the rest, remained locked. It rattled violently whenever anyone approached. Almost as if it were alive, Ilara stepped forward, placing her hand on the chest's surface. The rattling stopped, replaced by a soft pulse. A holographic display appeared, showing a complex puzzle, a maze of symbols and pathways that seemed to shift and change as the crew watched. "This is different," Dr. Saul said. "It's a challenge. The chest isn't just locked, it's asking us to solve it. Perhaps it only opens for those who understand the patterns and the logic behind them." The team gathered around, working together to decipher the puzzle. Hours turned into what felt like minutes as they traced paths, matched symbols, and tested hypotheses. The drones observed silently, occasionally guiding the team by illuminating specific sections of the puzzle. Lieutenant Kane spoke quietly. "It's almost as if the ship is teaching us how to think like it does, how to anticipate and solve problems we've never seen before." Ilara nodded. "Exactly. This is not just about technology. It's about training humanity to be ready for the challenges ahead. Whatever lies beyond this vessel, it requires more than skill, it requires understanding." Finally, after careful reasoning and teamwork, the final sequence clicked into place. The chest opened with a gentle hum, revealing a holographic star map pointing to a hidden star system surrounded by dense asteroid fields. The planets within the system glowed softly, and energy lines connected them like veins in a living organism. Ilara studied the map. "This is it," she whispered. "The ship wants us to follow these coordinates. The knowledge here, it's just the beginning. The real discovery lies ahead." The crew prepared the shuttle to leave the vessel and follow the coordinates. As they navigated through the ship's corridors, they noticed more signs of the ancient civilization that built it. Small chambers contained data cores, artifacts, and records of their travels. Some logs spoke of humans' early explorers who had once encountered this civilization and been inspired by their achievements. Dr. Saul examined a small sphere, its surface covered in intricate engravings. "This may have been a guide or recorder," he said. "It stores information in a way that interacts with living beings." The civilization wanted their knowledge to be preserved and only shared with those who could understand and respect it. The ship's structure seemed to respond to their actions. Doors opened without prompts, corridors shifted slightly to guide them toward areas of interest, and the drones moved in patterns that suggested encouragement rather than threat. Humanity's ingenuity was being recognized, and the vessel adapted to their behavior. As they reached the shuttle bay, the largest chest's glow dimmed slightly, as if acknowledging their progress. Ilara looked back at the ship. "We've learned much, but the journey is just beginning. Whatever awaits in that star system, we must be ready." The shuttle lifted off, leaving the ancient vessel behind. It hovered for a moment in orbit, the chest's soft hum echoing like a heartbeat across the empty space. Then, slowly, it began to drift toward the outer nebula, as if retreating to wait for the next worthy explorers. The coordinates led them through asteroid fields and uncharted space, where gravitational anomalies made navigation tricky. The crew relied on both human skill and the guidance of the holographic map. Each planet they approached seemed to radiate energy, confirming that the information from the vessel was accurate. After days of travel, they arrived at the hidden star system. The central planet was massive, with rings of crystalline material that reflected starlight like diamonds. Orbiting moons displayed signs of previous habitation, and energy readings indicated sources far beyond human understanding. Ilara's team prepared to land on the largest moon. The shuttle touched down gently, and the crew stepped onto the surface. The terrain was rocky but stable, dotted with structures that seemed both natural and artificial. Some formations resembled towers, while others looked like ruins, their surfaces etched with symbols similar to those on the ship's chests. "This civilization, Doctor," Saul said, awe in his voice. "They were capable of shaping planets, harnessing energy, and storing knowledge in ways we can barely imagine. And somehow, they chose humanity to follow their path." Lieutenant Kane surveyed the area. "We need to be careful. If the ship tested us, this place may hold even more complex challenges. But if we succeed, we could unlock technologies and understanding beyond anything we've ever known." Elara led her crew into the ruins, moving carefully among the crystalline structures. The air was breathable, but it carried a faint energy charge, making their hair stand on end. Small drones, similar to those on the vessel, hovered in the air, guiding them forward. As they explored deeper, they found chambers filled with devices and artifacts, many of which responded to touch and movement. Holographic displays projected knowledge about sustainable energy, advanced propulsion, and the natural laws of the universe in ways that were clear yet profound. The crew realized that the civilization had created a living archive, a place where knowledge was preserved and adapted to the capabilities of those who found it. It was a test, yes, but also a gift. A chance for humanity to rise to a new level of understanding. Elara paused in front of a large crystalline panel. The hologram projected a message in multiple languages, including a form of ancient human script. She read aloud, "To those who seek knowledge with courage, wisdom, and respect, we offer the keys to the stars. May your civilization grow beyond what you imagine, and may your hearts guide your choices wisely." The crew stood in silence, absorbing the weight of the message. They had passed the ship's test, uncovered its secrets, and now faced the challenge of understanding and applying the knowledge they had gained. Elara turned to her team. "This is more than discovery. This is responsibility. The ship trusted us, and now it is up to humanity to honor that trust. We continue together, not for glory or wealth, but to prove that we are capable of rising to the challenges ahead." As they prepared to explore the next section of the moon, the drones formed a path, glowing faintly to guide them. The chests aboard the ship had rattled in anticipation. And now, in the silence of the hidden star system, the journey of humanity had truly begun. The universe was vast, full of mysteries and dangers, but humans had always found ways to survive, adapt, and thrive. And in this moment, with an ancient civilization's wisdom before them, they were ready to prove that their courage, intelligence, and unity could shape the stars themselves. The hidden star system stretched out before them, a cluster of uncharted planets and moons glowing faintly with energy fields that no human had ever studied. Commander Elara Voss and her team had landed on the largest moon, and already the signs of an advanced civilization surrounded them. Crystalline towers, floating drones, and strange symbols etched into the rocks suggested that every inch of this system had once been observed, designed, or preserved. Elara led her crew cautiously, mindful of both the unknown and the immense responsibility they carried. "Remember," she said, "we are guests here. This civilization created these systems for knowledge, for testing, and for learning. Any mistake could destroy what we've come to understand." The drones from the old pirate vessel had accompanied them, hovering in precise formations, their glowing light guiding the crew through uneven terrain. The hum of energy in the atmosphere resonated with the pulses from the chests aboard the vessel, creating a subtle rhythm that seemed almost alive. Dr. Aaron Soul knelt beside a crystalline panel, brushing his gloved hand across its surface. "This system is unlike anything humans have encountered. These structures store energy. Yes, but they also encode information. Every tower, every formation, is a data center. The knowledge here isn't just in words or holograms, it's in the environment itself." Lieutenant Mara Kane surveyed the surrounding landscape. "It's beautiful and intimidating. How do we know where to start?" Quote, Elara pointed toward a central structure, a vast crystalline dome that radiated light in patterns too complex for the naked eye. "That dome is the core. I believe it contains the most important archives of this civilization. We start there. Carefully. As they approached, the drones began to move faster, forming protective barriers around the team. The air shimmered, and the ground vibrated slightly, as if the system itself recognized their arrival. Every step they took seemed monitored, tested, and evaluated. The entrance to the dome was not a door, but a surface of smooth crystal. Symbols glowed along its edges, and as the team moved closer, the panel shifted, forming a pathway large enough for them to pass. Inside, the dome opened into a vast chamber, filled with floating holographic panels and intricate machinery. Energy lines stretched across the ceiling, and walls like veins, connecting every part of the structure. "This is incredible," Dr. Soul whispered. "It's not just a library, it's a living archive. Every device here interacts with the environment and adapts to the intelligence of those who enter. It's alive in its own way." Ilara nodded. "We must be careful. The knowledge is vast, but it may be guarded by systems designed to prevent misuse." As they explored, the team noticed signs of previous visitors, small, uninhabited chambers that seemed to have been left for explorers like themselves. Some held tools and devices, others contained energy sources for study. There were no bodies or signs of violence, only hints that the civilization intended this place for those capable of learning. Hours passed, and the crew worked to understand the systems. Some panels displayed holographic instructions for energy manipulation. Others revealed maps of uncharted star routes, and a few even hinted at methods of creating sustainable habitats on otherwise hostile planets. Dr. Soul paused at one panel, eyes wide with wonder. These designs, they could allow humans to reach parts of the galaxy we've only dreamed of. The efficiency, the precision, it's beyond anything we've ever known. Lieutenant Kane frowned. And yet, we are not alone in wanting this knowledge. Ilara looked at her. "What do you mean?" Kane pointed toward the main access corridor. Sensors detected another ship entering the system. "It's human, but not from our colony. They're coming toward us fast, and judging by their energy signatures, they're armed and organized." The crew exchanged tense glances. For all their admiration of the ancient civilization's knowledge, they had to face the reality of rival humans' factions that saw the system as a prize to be claimed rather than a test to be respected. Ilara moved quickly. "Everyone, prepare defensive measures, but do not engage unless necessary. Our goal is to protect the knowledge and ourselves, not to fight recklessly. Let's see if diplomacy works first." The rival vessel appeared in the sky above the dome, sleek and menacing, its hull marked with the insignia of a faction known for aggressive expansion and exploitation of new territories. A voice came over the comm system, harsh and commanding. "Commander Ilara Voss," it said, "we know what you've found. Step aside, or we take it by force. That knowledge belongs to humanity, but only those strong enough to seize it will control it." Ilara's jaw tightened. "Strength isn't measured by force," she replied calmly. "We are here to study, learn, and protect. The civilization that created this system entrusted it to those capable of understanding it, not to those who would use it recklessly." There was a tense pause. Then the rival vessel fired a low-energy pulse, meant to intimidate rather than destroy. The dome vibrated, and some panels flickered. The team instinctively dove to cover as the drones responded, forming a protective shield around them. "This is what I feared," Dr. Soul muttered. "They don't understand. They could damage everything." Ilara quickly assessed their options. The rival faction had superior weapons, but their knowledge of the system was minimal. The team had the advantage of understanding the environment and the interaction with the drones. "Follow me," she ordered. "We'll use the system to our advantage. These drones and this environment respond to us. If we work together, we can protect the knowledge without unnecessary conflict." The crew moved through the dome, the drones hovering in patterns that allowed them safe passage. Holographic panels shifted as if guiding them, opening new pathways and sealing off others from the rival faction's line of sight. Energy fields created temporary barriers, diverting pulses fired at them. Lieutenant Kane smiled. "It's like the system is helping us." Yes, Alara said, eyes fixed on the path ahead. They reached the central core, a massive crystalline structure pulsating with energy. The holographic displays now formed coherent patterns, showing the functions of the entire system and how to interact safely with its energy sources. The team realized that, if used correctly, they could neutralize the rival faction without destruction, relying on intelligence rather than force. Alara extended her hand, following the patterns displayed by the drones. The energy lines responded immediately, creating barriers and redirecting the rival vessel's pulses harmlessly into space. The rival faction struggled to adapt, their attacks deflected, and their attempts to enter the dome thwarted at every turn. Dr. Soul studied the energy flow. It's incredible. The system anticipates our actions and adapts in real time. It's a perfect demonstration of the civilization's wisdom. They created something that rewards understanding and punishes recklessness. The rival faction's frustration grew. They tried to board the dome by force, but the energy barriers became impassable. Drones moved in patterns that protected the team while preventing damage to the structures. The humans from the rival ship realized they were outmatched not by weapons, but by intelligence and strategy. Finally, their vessel retreated, unable to breach the protective systems. Alara exhaled deeply, relief mixing with exhaustion. They underestimated us, and they underestimated the civilization that built this system. The team regrouped. We need to continue, Alara said. This system holds far more than we've discovered. And now, we must ensure that it remains safe, not just for us, but for humanity as a whole. They moved deeper into the system, exploring smaller planets and moons, each containing its own unique archive. Some moons held energy devices. Others were laboratories for studying life and ecosystems, and one even contained a dormant fleet of vessels built to explore distant galaxies. Everywhere they went, the drones guided them, opening pathways and providing insight when needed. The crew learned quickly, using their wits and patience to interact with the systems rather than force them. In doing so, they gained more than technology, they gained understanding. On one moon, they discovered a chamber filled with holographic records of early human explorers who had interacted with the civilization centuries ago. These logs showed cooperation, study, and respect for knowledge. The messages made Alara reflect on humanity's potential. We are part of something bigger, she said. This civilization left this system not as a prize, but as a test, and we are proving that humans can rise to meet it. As days turned into weeks, the team documented everything they could. They understood more about sustainable energy, advanced propulsion, and the ethics of interacting with civilizations far older than themselves. But most importantly, they realized the HFY truth. Humans were capable of courage, intelligence, and moral judgment that could shape the future of the galaxy. Alara looked out across the crystalline landscapes one last time. The rival faction was gone, but the lessons remained. We've faced tests, challenges, and threats, she said quietly, and we've proven that knowledge, wisdom, and cooperation are stronger than brute force. This is what humanity can offer the universe. The drones formed a circle around the team, pulsing with light, as if acknowledging their achievement. The central core of the system glowed brighter, responding to their success. The ship's chests, which had guided them to this system, seemed almost satisfied in their silent vibration. Alara knew the journey was not over. The system held countless secrets, some still dormant, waiting for humans to discover them with patience and care. And beyond this system, the galaxy stretched endlessly, full of mysteries, challenges, and opportunities for humanity to shine. With the knowledge they had gained and the wisdom of the ancient civilization guiding them, Alara and her crew were ready for the next stage. They had defended the legacy, learned from it, and proved themselves capable of carrying it forward. Humanity was not only surviving in the stars, they were ready to thrive. And somewhere, deep in the heart of the hidden star system, the echoes of the ancient civilization's wisdom continued to pulse, waiting for the next worthy explorers to rise. The hidden star system was quiet now. The rival humans had retreated, the threat neutralized not by force but by intelligence and patience. Commander Ilara Voss and her team stood at the heart of the crystalline dome, surrounded by holographic projections that displayed the wealth of knowledge and technology left behind by the ancient civilization. Yet even after weeks of exploration, the largest chest, the one that had rattled the most and seemed almost alive, remained unopened. Its glow pulsed gently, as if waiting for them to take the final step. Ilara approached it carefully. She felt the hum in her chest match the pulse of the vessel. "This is it," she whispered. "The culmination of everything the ship has tested us for. Intelligence, courage, cooperation, patience. Now we see if we are truly worthy." Dr. Aaron Sol knelt beside her, scanning the chest's surface with his instruments. "It's more than mechanical or energy locks," he said. "It responds to our thoughts, our intentions. It's almost sentient. I believe the ship and the chest are connected, like one mind guiding another. We have to show it that our purpose is understanding, not greed or dominance." Lieutenant Mara Kane adjusted her gloves, her eyes steady. "We've learned to work together, to think like the system, and to respect it. Whatever comes out of that chest, we're ready." Ilara nodded and placed her hands firmly on the surface. The chest's glow intensified, and the rattling transformed into a deep, rhythmic vibration no longer alarming, but inviting. Holographic symbols swirled around them, forming patterns that pulsed with energy. The symbols were familiar now, echoes of the lessons they had learned in the system. Each pattern represented a test they had passed: courage, problem-solving, collaboration, and ethical judgment. Suddenly, a soft voice resonated in the chamber. It was not human, yet somehow understandable. "You have arrived. You have proven worthy. You seek knowledge, not conquest. You value wisdom above power. And for this, we will share our gift." The chest opened slowly, revealing a holographic figure. It resembled a humanoid form, tall and elegant, composed of shifting lights and energy lines. Its eyes glowed gently, as though seeing every thought in the room. "I am the guardian of this vessel and the archives of my civilization," the figure said. "Long ago, we observed the rise of humanity. We left the vessel and the star system as a test, to see if your species would rise to meet the challenges of knowledge with wisdom and courage. Few would succeed. You have." The crew stood in awe. Every member felt the weight of the moment. This was more than discovery. It was recognition. Humanity itself had been judged worthy by a civilization far older than their own. Ilara stepped forward. "What is this gift?" she asked. The guardian smiled, though not in the human sense. "The knowledge contained here can elevate your species beyond current limitations. Advanced propulsion systems, sustainable energy, planetary engineering, and even understanding the very structure of the universe. All of this is available. But the greatest gift is understanding. Knowledge alone can be misused. Wisdom guides its application." Dr. Sol's eyes shone with excitement. "We can learn from this. Humanity could thrive like never before, safely, responsibly, and with purpose." The Guardian raised its hand, and the holographic display expanded. Every device, every piece of technology, every archive from the system was now accessible. The floating drones that had guided them hovered around the team, projecting instructions, demonstrations, and simulations. The chamber itself seemed to adapt to each crew member, responding to their actions and guiding them intuitively. Mara Kane studied the system, the vessel and the star system. "They're teaching us not just information, but a way to think, a way to act. It's like a mentorship spanning centuries." Ilara nodded. "And we are its students. We must ensure that we pass this wisdom forward, not for war or greed, but for exploration, understanding, and growth." As they began to interact with the holographic systems, they discovered something unexpected. The chest and the vessel contained a set of dormant starships. Unlike any human design, these ships were capable of long-distance travel through previously unreachable parts of the galaxy. The technology was far advanced, designed for efficiency, safety, and adaptability. Dr. Sol ran his fingers over a projection. "These ships, they are modular, responsive, intelligent. They can adapt to different environments, analyze conditions, and assist their crew. It's not just travel, it's cooperation between human and machine in a way we've never imagined. Ilara's mind raced with the possibilities. We could explore systems that humans have only dreamed of. We could colonize planets, study civilizations, and uncover mysteries without destroying them. But it will require careful planning, wisdom, and patience. The Guardian's voice echoed again. Use what you learn wisely. Do not let ambition blind you. Knowledge is a gift, but responsibility is its companion. Humans have shown courage, intelligence, and ethical thought. These qualities will guide you forward. Hours turned into days as the crew studied, interacted, and absorbed the knowledge. They learned how to harness energy efficiently, manipulate materials for construction, and even simulate ecosystems on barren worlds. Every lesson reinforced the principle that understanding and cooperation were more powerful than force. One evening, as the twin suns of the hidden star system set over the crystalline towers, Ilara gathered her team. "Look at what we've accomplished," she said. "We've passed tests designed to measure more than skill. We've demonstrated patience, courage, respect, and intelligence. This is humanity's moment. And it's only the beginning." Mara Kane smiled. "It feels like we've been chosen to carry something extraordinary into the future." "Yes," Dr. Saul said softly. "We've been entrusted with knowledge, and we must honor it. For ourselves, and for everyone who will come after us." Ilara turned back to the central chest, still pulsing gently. "Guardian, we understand. We will respect this gift. We will explore responsibly. We will ensure that the knowledge we share is used wisely, and that humanity grows in understanding, courage, and unity." The chest's glow intensified, then slowly dimmed, signaling the Guardian's approval. The drones swirled around the chamber, forming patterns that radiated light and energy across the walls and ceiling. For a moment, it felt as though the entire system was alive, celebrating humanity's triumph. The Guardian spoke one final time. "You are ready. Go forth. Explore the stars. Learn. And teach. Humanity is now part of the legacy of knowledge we preserve. Let your courage, wisdom, and cooperation guide your future. And remember, the universe favors those who act with understanding, not force." Ilara took a deep breath, feeling the enormity of the moment. "We will not fail." The crew spent the following days documenting and preparing to leave the system. They loaded essential data into secure modules, trained on the operation of the ancient starships, and tested energy devices that could revolutionize life on distant worlds. Yet even as they worked, they knew that the true victory was not the technology itself. It was the recognition that humans were capable of rising to meet extraordinary challenges. Finally, it was time to depart. The hidden star system glowed softly behind them as the crew boarded one of the ancient starships. The vessel that had brought them here, the old pirate ship, hovered in the distance, its chest silent now, its mission complete. It had judged, tested, and guided. Now, it receded into the nebula, leaving humanity to carry its legacy forward. Ilara took her seat at the helm, her hands steady on the controls. "Engage," she said. And the ship hummed to life, its energy systems integrating seamlessly with the crew's commands. The stars streaked past as they jumped into hyperspace, following the paths laid out by the ancient civilization. As they traveled, the crew reflected on everything they had learned. They had faced tests, deciphered complex systems, protected knowledge from those who would misuse it, and proven their worth to a civilization far older than humanity itself. The lessons were clear. Courage, intelligence, cooperation, and ethical thinking were humanity's greatest strengths. Dr. Soul leaned back in his seat, a smile on his face. "I never imagined we would see something like this in our lifetime. We've unlocked secrets that could change the future of our species forever." Mara Kane nodded. "And we've done it without violence. By understanding. By thinking. By respecting what came before us. That is true strength." Ilara gazed at the stars ahead. This is only the beginning. There are countless systems, countless mysteries, and countless opportunities for humans to rise. We've been chosen, but it's up to us to continue proving ourselves worthy. The crew worked in harmony, guided by the knowledge of the ancient civilization. Each discovery, each experiment, and each step forward reinforced their understanding of the universe and of humanity's potential. They realized that the stars were not simply places to reach, they were challenges to overcome, lessons to learn, and opportunities to grow. Weeks later, as they returned to human-controlled space, the first glimpses of civilization beyond Lyra 7 appeared. Colonies, research stations, and trade outposts spread across the star systems. The crew shared only the knowledge necessary to inspire and guide, ensuring that humanity would expand responsibly. Elara looked around at her team, proud of what they had accomplished. "We've done more than survive," she said. "We've proven that humans are capable of greatness. This is humanity at its finest. Brave, intelligent, and wise. The universe is vast. But now, so are we." And somewhere, far beyond their reach, the old pirate vessel drifted silently through space. Its chests empty, its mission fulfilled. The Guardian's voice lingered in memory, a reminder that intelligence, courage, and ethics would always guide the way. The stars stretched infinitely before them, full of mystery, challenge, and opportunity. Humanity had passed the test. Humanity had proven itself worthy. And humanity was ready to shine among the stars.